Hello, Hull. Jake Valancourt again, one of your 5 elected light commissioners and the light board's clerk. As always, I am speaking only for myself. A short while ago, I told you I had filed 2 formal public records requests with the town. I asked for 2 things. First, whether the town manager exchanged any messages with a select board member during our joint meeting on June 10th. Second, for the documents behind this building, the grant application the town filed this spring, the architect's design for a permanent garage at our own site, and the quotes for the temporary tent the board never asked for, and the records showing who paid for the rebuttal the town's consultants wrote to my op-ed last fall. The town answered, and I already have written back the same day. I am going to show you both because you paid for all of it, and you should see exactly how this went. Start with the messages. The town told me there are no records. I have written back asking them to confirm one thing, that they actually looked everywhere. Under Massachusetts law, a message about town business is a public record, no matter what device it sits on. I am not going to tell you what those messages say because I have not seen them, and I am not going to accuse anyone of anything that I cannot prove. I'm asking the town to stand behind its answer. That is all. Now, the documents. And here I am going to be plain with you. They produced nothing, not one page. Instead, the town's lawyer told me my requests were too broad and asked me to narrow them. I'll be straight, because being straight is the whole point here. 2 of my 8 questions were written loosely, and I have fixed those the same day. I'm putting my reply on your screen now. Read it. I did not dig in. I tightened what deserved tightening. But look at what they called too vague to find. One of my requests was for a single document, the grant application that this town filed on or about March 27th of this year for this building through a named state program. One application, one date. They told me that was too broad to locate. Another was for the architect's drawings for the garage your elected board voted for unanimously last year. Another was for the quotes for the tent that came back instead. Another named the exact rebuttal to my letter, the date it was discussed, and the 4 people who worked on it. And I asked one simple question. Who paid for it? And was any of it billed to a state grant? This did not have to be difficult. The town could have handed over the documents. It chose to object instead. And I'm not asking anyone to do research or to answer questions or to write anything new. I am asking for records that already exist, that you and I paid for as taxpayers and ratepayers about a building you are being asked to fund. When the answer to a request for one grant application is too broad to find, we are entitled to ask why basic documents about a $65 million project are this hard to get. Here is why this matters beyond the paperwork. This is the same pattern you have watched for years. A unanimous vote of your elected board received as advice and not followed. A project the board rejected unanimously, advanced anyways. And now, public documents that take formal legal requests to pry loose, and even then come back as objections instead of pages. That is the accountability problem in one picture. An elected commissioner should not have to lawyer his way to his town's own grant application. So here's where it stands. I have narrowed the 2 questions that deserved it. I have insisted on the rest, and I have asked the town to produce within the time the law allows. If it still will not produce these documents, my next step is the state supervisor of records. And after that, if I have to, a court, where the law lets a resident recover the cost of going to court when records are wrongly withheld. I would rather not get there. The faster path is simple. Hand over the documents. None of this changes the way out. And the way out is the same as the last time. On June 24th, the Select Board is expected to vote to send Article 40 to the legislature. Show up. Write to our state delegation and ask them to carry it across the finish line. That is where your voice and your vote changes the outcome. And my promise holds. Whatever the town produces, I will publish it. All of it, right here. If the documents prove me wrong on something, I will say so on this channel. That's accountability. Read the documents, watch the meetings, and hold every one of us accountable.